このファンリゼロコラボ第2弾。またメグミンたちに会えるなんて。今度はレムが姉様たちにアクセルの街を案内します。スバルやベアトリスも。あれ、強欲の魔女、かっこいい響きです。今ならスバルとエミリアが。
今度のこのファンリゼロコラボはまさかの水着。
おお、水着のエミリアタン、まさに EMT。
いやらしい獣のような視線がアクア様やメグミン様に。
誰が獣だ。
これをもらって落ち着きなさい。
Hey guys, Cats My Gaming here. ReZero collaboration stream with konosuba Fantastic Days just happened, and I want to give you a quick summary about everything from art, skills, event, pretty much the whole stream summarized here. So you all be prepared for when it drops in, you know, global in 1.5 years, and if you play JP for in 2 days, because it's really close to happening. And by the way, if you want to watch me pull for the new units and you don't want to miss it, maybe join YouTube, Twitch, join the Discord maybe as well for some pinks there. We actually just broke 1K subs on YouTube, so thank you so much for that. And let's get right into it. Okay, first up, we have, of course, a new event that will be themed around the snow bunnies. If you watch ReZero Season 2, you probably know them. I would at least assume so. And as you can see by that image here, our first welfare will be Subaru. Yeah, Subaru will finally be joining the game after missing out on him the last time. So I'm really happy our boy is finally here. And you can also see some girls in the background that you maybe see later again. But yeah, let's continue. First up, we have Subaru's kit. And if you don't speak Japanese, don't worry, I have a translation for you. Keep in mind, this translation is not perfect. There are some errors in here, but I try to, you know, summarize it as good as I can. If there are some errors in there, I'm sorry, but, you know, I can just do what I can do. So, first up, passive trait is dark damage attribute, which can be potentially really good, because it means he can be a good subs for his sub units. We talk about that later. He has a normal physical damage basic, so he seems like a physical unit, but wait up. His first skill is a non-damage skill that instead buffs agility tier 2 for all allies and a small dark damage attribute buff for the whole team. So if you know Snow Cecily, for example, this is kind of the same buff. Second skill is a dark attribute magic damage skill. He's hybrid like Kazuma Cecily, so that's kind of cool, but could potentially also hurt him. It scales with HP to up to 257% damage, and it applies a blind. So yeah, this dark medium probability is a blind, you know, weird translation stuff, to the enemy for 12 seconds. And then we have his ulti. It's a 316% physical damaging skill that also decreases the enemy's agility for 12 seconds. And his ulti is easier to charge than usual, so he could potentially spam his ulti. I don't know, but we'll find out more, okay? Then let's talk about the event boss real quick. And the whole event part before we go to the banners, aka the probably important part here. I got a small translation here. We have the Great Rabbits. They're weak to dark and wind. They deal light damage, and they can apply also a blind. At least I think the second line is a blind again. And then we see another line that's new here that you probably didn't know, and that is sub-target. So what are sub-targets? Sub-targets means one enemy has multiple parts that you can hit. So AoE attacks can hit one enemy multiple times. If you follow JP for a while, we already have AoE arenas with multiple enemies. This potentially means that we can even have one enemy as the boss, but yeah, can have multiple targets, so you can still use AoE skills on the one enemy. This could potentially mean that we get to an AoE arena where AoE skills are really good, because maybe most bosses have multiple hits, and that way AoE skills deal 3 hits anyway. And if there are multiple enemies as well like that, that can be insane of the amount of hits here. So really curious about that. Here's, by the way, an example of the event boss with the multiple targets. You can see 4 circles here, aka you can hit him up to 4 times. Then, if we defeat the boss enough times, we actually can get rewards like quads, a weapon, and some puck coins. And with these puck coins, we can actually get a lot of stuff. So, if you missed out on part 1 of the event, you can get Emilia with that. You can get puck assist with that. Yes, puck is finally an assist. We can get Emilia's glove. We can get Ram's weapon. We can get Ram's weapon. And we can get Echidna's weapon. Here, by the way, you can see puck. Sadly, he's not that good of an assist. He's kind of like the water clock with CDR for the whole team. Small water CDR. But, you know, he has better stats. And probably some water damaging boost, I guess, for his passive. So, potentially he's good in that regard. I don't know. We'll need to find out. Okay. Then, let's continue.
この場所で何が起こり、何を思ったか、僕はそれを知りたいのさ。僕の好奇心を満たしてほしい。
見ての通り、どこにいようとラムは可憐で双剣よ。さあ、行くわよ。
約束は守る主義かしら。こちらにいる間は力を貸してやるのよ。とっとと終わらせるかしら。アクアが作ってくれた水着、すごくかわいい。パックにも見せてあげなきゃ。スバルがぼーっとしてたわ。このような服を着るなんて、レムは少し恥ずかしいです。あまり見られると、その
with the first banner. The first banner will be Ram, Beatrice, and Echidna. That's right, first banner will be 3 collab characters. Isn't this POG? This is, by the way, the first time this actually happened, so this is really cool. There it is. By the way, if you didn't do this already, if you put the Ram part to the side of this, this actually makes like one big wallpaper with like everything in there. So yes, these 2 thumbnails are connected. That's such a cool small detail. I love that. By the way, YouTube chat, I will answer the questions after I'm finishing with this. I'm sorry. So here we have the skills. Again, I of course prepared them, translated for you guys. There they are. So Ram is a magic unit. So her passive trait is boosting magic attack. Okay, so far so good. Then we of course have a first basic that is also wind attribute magic damage to 1 enemy. We have third skill, that's magic damage to all enemies, and it also increased the agility by tier 2. So if you remember Fast Chris, this is kind of Fast Chris skill, but just for mages. Second one is wind attack damage to 1 enemy. That scales with a debuff to up to 221%. And a small wind damage attribute damage up for everyone, an X buff. So if you don't know what X buffs are, I explained it before, but simply said, these are buffs that can coexist to normal buffs. So you can have a normal wind damage buff and you can have 1 X buff as well. And her ulti is 360% wind attribute damage to 1 enemy. Magic defense down, I think, should be the right translation here. I think this is... Yep, it's magic defense down, not defense down. This is a small translation error here in the image. And it also boosts her own magic attack by a tier 1 and also an X buff. So this buff, again, can coexist with other buffs. That can be really good. It can also increase her own damage really good. Also, keep in mind, this is also an ulti that charged easier than usual, so you need less gauge, kind of like Kazuma Snipe. So she can probably spam her ulti a lot, which can be really good. Okay. Then we have our next unit, Beatrice. That's right, Beatrice is in the game. Here's her kit in Japanese, and of course, here's the kit translated. She's a dark unit, as you can see in the image. So she also boosts magic attack as a passive trait. Normal dark damage basic as you normally know from mages. Her first skill is really interesting because it greatly increases the avoidance rate of all allies and counter attack of medium damage. So, if you know the Rerun collab, there's also a unit that provides both these buffs in one skill. So what that means, simply said, is your units are more likely to dodge and they have a counter. If the enemy hits you, you deal normal damage back as a counter. If the enemy doesn't hit you, you deal, in that case, dark damage as a counter attack. So she will be based around a team where hopefully the enemy attacks a lot or is like really fast, or multiple enemies where you want to dodge as much as possible to deal the most amount of damage possible. Second skill is a normal damaging skill. It's an AoE damage skill with 182% damage for debuffed enemies and a medium gotcha for your whole team, which is pretty good, I think. Then we have for ulti, dark damage magic attack with 245% multiplier on all enemies. Also applies a tier 1 res shred for 12 seconds on all enemies and increase everyone's magic attack greatly. So tier 3, I think. Let me just double check that I don't say anything wrong here. We have a better translated image somewhere. Slight damage increase and large increase in magic attack to allies. Nope, that's right. Okay, I didn't do anything wrong. Good, good, good. Then we come probably to one of the most hyped units out there for at least a lot of people, what I saw so far. That is Echidna. She's also here in the game. By the way, I think it's really funny how she actually comes to the world, because unlike the others that got transported by a mob, again, she was just like, the others appeared, let's follow them. So she literally followed them with her like own willpower, or how you want to call it. So that's really cool or interesting. Anyway, here's the kit. Again, once in Japanese, once translated, so you can, you know, translate it yourself if you want to. Magic attack, passive trait again, normal basic attack, nothing special here. Then 108 or 130% damage if the enemy is debuffed. Dark damage, and slightly increase the agility of everyone by tier 2. So she has a tier 2 speed boost and an AoE skill. This is AoE, sorry, it was entire enemy, yeah, it's an AoE skill. Then the second skill is 165 or 221% when above 70% HP, magic damage to one enemy, and slightly shortened skill charge time for all allies. So, again, this is kind of like, wait, give me a second, the audio bugged out, I think. Let's go, there we go, fixed it. So she is kind of, again, somewhat like a fast Chris kit. And then we have her ulti, which is a 390% damage to one enemy. That is 100% crit. And this is a little harder to charge. So kind of like Misaka from Rerun Collab. It takes more gauge, but for that you have a guaranteed crit, which is kind of good. Okay. Then we have the next unit, which is Summer Bikini Emilia! That's right! The old units have a comeback in bikini outfits. And I thought it's such a genius idea. Who doesn't want Ram and Emilia in bikini outfits? Like, come on, I know you all want to. So, we also have, of course, their kits. Emilia boosts magic attack damage as a passive trait. Basic is also pretty weird and normal. Then again, she has a skill that doesn't do damage, but heals. In that case, it's a slight recover over time for 10 seconds and a water attribute damage small for 10 seconds. The second skill is water attribute magic damage of 162% or 270% when HP is 70% or above on entire enemies. She also applies res shred. I think this is medium damage res shred. Yeah. Emilia will be a res shred player, but the fact is that she only has one damaging skill, so I'm not really 100% sure how good she will be. So far, people say she might be the worst, but we don't know yet. But let's take a look at the other unit, and that is Ram! Also with a beautiful bikini. Here is the Japanese translation, and here is the English translation, or bad translation, however you want to say it. She boosts physical attack power as a passive trait. She has water physical damage, so that's the first time I think a normal Collab or like it's really good for a physical unit to have an elemental basic. And I'm not sure if she's the first Collab unit with that or one of the first like physical unit with elemental basic. So that's really good and boosts her chance for being good in water. First skill is 136 or 170% when above 78% HP. Magic water damage to one enemy. Again, magic and physical mix, which is kind of a bit weird. And medium boost to special skill gauge for all allies. Second skill is 170% physical water damage to one enemy and 228% if the enemy is a debuff. And a small increase in water damage to all allies X. So you can use her with Emilia, kinda, because one boosts normal and one boosts X. So they can in theory coexist, but this gives Ram the possibility to be actually used in arenas, because we have Cecily, for example, which has the normal water damage boost, so she can coexist with her and don't need to compete. The only other water X buff we currently have is the Collab Megumin, and she's like fine to use, but not like the greatest thing, so there's actually a possibility she can see some use cases here. Ram and Emilia get actually an OT2 version 2, which is kind of cool, and they actually have pretty good effects. So for Emilia, she has a team physical attack and magical attack boost. So instead of defense, she actually buffs on the offense, and also has easier gauge, so you don't need as much gauge for the boost. So she can also spam her ulti a lot more often, I guess. Against single target. And for Ram, she has a team agility tier 2 as a tier 2 team agility boost, and a self tier 3, or I don't know if it's tier 3, but like a self physical attack boost X. So again, a buff that can coexist, which can make her a little bit better. So how are these characters linked with normal characters? Subaru gets a passive trait from, or like passive bonus stats from Kazuma and Dust. Emilia gets bonus stats from Aqua, and now new Cecily as well. And Beatrice gets bonus stats from Yun and Kameko. Then we have Ram with Megumin as a passive character. Then Leah. We have Ram with Megumin, Rin, and Ram. And then we have Ram with Megumin, Leah, and Ram. And then we also have Echidna, who gets passive stats from Wiz and Are. Let's continue with the slide. So part 1 of the event will start again, as I said, in 2 days, and will last until the last day of May. And the banner, of course, lasts a little bit longer, because it also will be going on while part 2 is going on. And then part 2 starts on May 31. Okay, second to last day, not the last day, sorry, my bad. And both last till 10th of June, or, well, the banner is till 11th of June. We also get some campaigns going on. Most importantly, double drop for the first part, double EXP and double points. And for part 2, we also get double EXP and double points. Nothing too crazy. We get a new Pain Quest stage with higher rates for 3-star passive traits. That, of course, will only work for the Collab units, but also Aqua and Megumin. So the old Collab units also are included in that, which can be really good to grind those, especially Aquas. I need to grind a lot of Aquas. Tomorrow, we get 500 quads as a bonus to celebrate the Collab 500 quads. Poggies, I know, right? We also get panel missions that you can get various rewards from. So here are the rewards we get from the panel mission. We get Subaru's weapon, which is a cell phone. We get Emilia's weapon, which is her keychain, I think. Some bond food, some global collab shards, and stuff like that. We also get some apples, as you can see, for bond food of the characters. Also, one thing I forgot to say. Yeah. Small detail that actually showed off as well is that, you know, in Japanese, since Christmas, we get fake outs. So the character appears like a normal 1 or 2 or 3 star, and then suddenly Ares comes in and makes it to a 4 star. This can now happen in the collab as well, but this time Echidna comes and upgrades the cards. That's really cool. Then we of course have some other a new side quest happening where we can get some materials and some apples, nothing too crazy, but you can talk with Third Ram. That seems to be really cool. We actually got a new login campaign where you can get quads, and the 7th day is guaranteed to be 1000 quads. So I probably expect this to be something like the Daily Explosion, but with Subaru and Kazuma, so we'll see how it looks. We get, of course, a return from Death Gacha again, where you can redo your multi up to 2 times to hopefully grab something. Good luck with that. Back then in Global NJP in the first part, I never got something out of that, but you know, free multis, free multi whatever. We have a step up that's returning with paid quads here. By the way, this is all paid quads. First multi 500 quads, second multi free, third multi 900 paid quads with 1 4-star guaranteed. Fourth multi 2000 paid quads with raid up and a skill potion, and the last multi has no raid up, I think. It doesn't at least say it, but we will get a ticket. And this ticket will guarantee you one of the new, so this will only the new collab units. So you can get power 1 and power 2 units out of it. There will also be a banner that gives you a collab ticket, but this ticket also includes, as you can see here, the old collab units. So you can also get Aqua, Ram, and Megu out of that. Then it's finally also back. Another 10 4-star multi. Yes, there's a multi with every unit being a 4-star. I already did that on the Third Anni video, so, you know, maybe check that out as well if you want to. But, of course, I'm going to do that. Could be really, really cool, because it's exciting to get 10 4-stars. This also includes limited units, so there's a good chance that you can get a few pretty decent units. Then we, of course, get a rerun banner for everyone who missed out on the OG units. You're not left out. You can pull them. This is probably the part 2 banner, but this seems like to be the scam banner for IK, 2k, and some bonus rewards. Not sure really, but you know, you need to pull on Ram and Emilia anyway, so good luck with that. And then the last image, which is some updates that they dropped. So first up, on end of May, we can choose before the battle if you wanna enable auto and which speed. That's really cool. And then at the end of June, we can finally auto Feint Quest. But that's not all. In July, we also will be able to skip, not auto Feint Quest, sorry. I mean, you will be able to skip Feint Quest. But in July, you will also be able to skip X Arena after you've done it once and you just get the same score again. You can do up to 10 boss runs. You can auto main story. So if a new main story drops and you'd use stage 1, you can just automatically play stage 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you don't need to go out, select the next stage, go play, use the same team probably anyway, and just finish it. You can just do it in one move, which is really cool. And last but not least, they say they want to increase or fix the auto team building. So hopefully auto team building will make good units. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this helps you out. It was a long video, I know, but there's a lot of stuff here. Still hope this helps you out. And remember to like and subscribe if you didn't do already. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.